I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
And what I can't understand is that this is Cincinnati police. This is not Minneapolis police. And what they're doing is just absolutely horrendous. As a member of city council, this is my first time ever seeing something like this. When this first happened in 2001, I was only 17 years old, right? I can't understand for the life of me what is going on right now in the city of Cincinnati. And I'm gonna be here until these folks and the other folks are protected. Let me tell you something. There are people down here who are encouraging 14-year-old kids. These babies are 14 years old, man, and they're encouraging them to throw bottles at these cops. And these grown people are encouraging our babies to fight. This is not their fight. And I will give a how mad or angry you are with what is happening with the police. But these 15-year-old kids have nothing to do with this, man. And these cops, black cops, white cops, or whatever like that, they did not do anything. And I'm not here to take one side or the other, but what I'm suggesting to the people of Cincinnati is that what type of success are you going to have with attacking these people that have nothing to do with this? And what I'm saying is that you got people down here who are literally encouraging kids to attack cops. You're encouraging the kids to attack cops, and they're using Emmett Till. They're using Martin Luther King to justify why these 14 and 15-year-old kids should be out here. These are former students of mine. You see what I'm saying? I am imploring that before this pops and this gets bad, they're throwing bricks. They just threw a brick at the cops. It's wrong. I'm telling you, it's wrong. And I'm so nervous and I'm so scared for these kids. These are kids. There are kids around. There are kids across the street who live downtown in City West, and these people are out here encouraging them. And as an elder in the African American community, if any African American is encouraging these 14 and 15-year-old kids to be out here, they're wrong. That's wrong. These cops didn't do anything to George Floyd. This is wrong. I don't get how you see it. It's wrong.
Black Lives Matter is a joke. You are the racist. The racist is you. It's because the white guy killed that. You think they're racist. The racist is Black Lives Matter. Go to Chicago. They don't have schools. And they die every day. They don't matter. Because you can get attention from that. Shut up! Shut up! Nobody will know the Black Lives Matter. Group of hypocrites. Go to Southeast DC, Northeast. Tell them Black Lives Matter. If it matters, it should matter everywhere. You guys are hypocrites. Attention seekers. Attention seekers. Black lives should matter everywhere. It doesn't take a white cop to kill a black person to matter.
So I'm here today because I heard about a demonstration on, the George Floyd event, situation, which I'm going to be honest about it. It's wrong that, anything like that should happen. Okay? It's very wrong. My problem is it shouldn't be an opportunity for a group of people to use that as an excuse or to come across as victims. No one is a victim here. The only victim here is George Floyd. Let's be very clear.
Everybody knows that black kills black more than anything. You know that. It doesn't take a white person to kill them for you to come out. Hypocrites.
Just leave.
You leave.
I'm present. You leave.
Let me leave. Make me leave. Bunch of hypocrites. Black lives matter only when a white person touch a black person. Do you know how many black kids got killed in Northeast DC this morning? What did you do? You guys are the racists.
What did you do besides come out here and provoke shit?
No, go out there and tell the black person Black Lives Matter.
Help them.
Go tell the black person Black Lives Matter. Then they will take you seriously. Everybody thinks it as a joke.
You a joke, because you playing. Go out there and do it. You a joke.
What are you doing for the Chicago kids who are dying every day?
What you doing?
Do you go there and tell them Black Lives Matter?
You going?
Make me go.
You going?
Make me go.
I'm so supportive of them going.
Make me go.
As an American citizen, I'm proud of this country. I love this country. I don't want my country to be portrayed like this. We have a problem. That agreed. We have a problem in our country. Agreed. Okay? Too much violence. But it should not be categorized as a symbolism for racism on blacks. No. We are in a free country. Let's be very clear. We have foreign news media here. Our country is going to be portrayed the way they want our country to be portrayed, and which is not accurate. My point was that black kids in Chicago get killed every single day. Where is the Black Lives Matter in Chicago? Where are they?
When black people kill black people, they don't come out and do this crap. The only time they do this job is when a white person touches them. They're the racists. They are the racists. Because white cops, it's wrong for a white cop to kill a black person, that's for sure. But if it matters, it should matter at all times.
So what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? You're not here to fight injustice. You're here to cause drama.
Will be stop violence. It's not about blacks.
In a unicorn world. That's not a unicorn world. Okay, since you're so...
You guys claim blacks are oppressed. I am black, I'm not oppressed. I am free.
That's good for you. That's an individual person. What about a systemic issue?
Where? I am black. I've always wanted to be. I have a like. I do what I want. You have the skills. This is a country where you have the skills. You want to do what you want. You do it. Stop forcing on people to accept that they're oppressed. They are not. I am not oppressed. I am black. Stop making people accept that they're oppressed. You're forcing a rhetoric into your mind, which is not true. That's my point. Violence is wrong. Period. It's not about blacks. You agree that whites kill whites too, right? Have you seen any white person coming out and saying white life matter or white thing? No, violence is wrong.
They literally do all the time. Every time there's a Black Lives Matter protest, a white person.
It's not a problem. It's a violence problem. The blacks kill blacks in black neighborhoods every single day. I've never seen a Black Lives Matter in those neighborhoods. Never. Never. Do you know what they say? When the black person kill a black in a black neighborhood, they come out and they say, when the police comes, do you know what they tell the police? Snitches get stitches.
I know that. Okay.
Snitches get stitches. But if a white person kill a black person, Black Lives Matter. Stop the hypocrisy. Nobody takes this seriously. Nobody. If it matters, it should matter in black neighborhoods. You start cleaning at home.
So why don't you go?
You start your kids at home.
Why don't you start?
I'm not carrying anything saying Black Lives Matter. I know I matter.
Why don't you start?
You guys are wasting everybody's time. Okay?
Since you're so
Black kills black more than any race. Where's the Black Lives Matter?
People kill in their community.
Where's the Black Lives Matter? I am free. Don't try to make me believe I'm not free. I am free.
Shame on you.
I am free. Shame on you. Shame on you. I am free. I am free. I am free. Bring it. Bring it, guys. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Where are you
here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
Where are you in South DC?
Why are you here?
I am free in my country.
Why are you here?
I'm in my country.
Why are you here? Okay, so if you don't believe in this cause, you're free to leave. You're free, so you're free to
I am free to stay too. I am free to stay.
Like this.
That's my house. My house.
Go there.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. You know how many kids got killed in North DC this morning?
Let's hear the statistics. Since you're such a stats expert and you can read stats off, I mean, tell me, what are the statistics? What are the statistics of black people in jail? What are the statistics? Go.
And what are the statistics of black people dying in Chicago every day? Where are you? Bunch of hypocrites. Bunch of hypocrites. Don't waste anybody's time. You know what? You know what, guys?
I believe in this and you're wasting your own time.
No, I will tell you guys. The world will take you guys seriously when you start your Black Lives Movement. When a black person kills a black person, you come out and say, Black Lives Matter.
There are community organizations that fight against that. You have no idea.
Where? Everyone! Let's march! Let's march! Let's start this march! Black Lives Matter! Let's go! Let's go to Northeast! Let's go to Northeast! Let's go to Northeast! I will go! I will go! But do it in Southeast DC, I will respect your movement. Do it in Chicago, I respect you, Chicago. You guys have been cowards. You guys are not oppressed. You're lazy, that's all it is. Go get jobs, work. I am oppressed. The white people are oppressing me. Where are they to oppress you?
Do you feel like the mainstream media or the establishment media is portraying things accurately or the protests accurately?
No. What I think is that the mainstream media is helping propel this voice, which is very, very skewed from reality.
I'm going to give you a set of numbers that the mainstream media just refuses to listen to or look at. And these are numbers that come out of the FBI Uniform Crime Report and the Washington Post. Last year, there were 10 million arrests in the United States. 10 million. Out of 10 million arrests, police officers were involved in fatal shootings 1,004 times. 1,004 times. 41 of those were unarmed people. The police shot unarmed people. If you listen to the rhetoric, every one of those people were black. You know what? That's a lie. That's completely false. It's not true. 19 white people, unarmed, were shot and killed by police last year. Nine were black. 19 whites, 9 were black. You know what? Everybody's talking about the blacks that were unarmed and killed by police. That number is systemic. It's outrageous. It's insane. There were 89 cops killed in this country in the line of duty last year. Nobody's talking about them. Nobody's talking about the 82 people that were shot in Chicago last weekend. In 48 hours, 19 dead. 82 people shot, 19 dead in Chicago. Baghdad didn't have that many.
Okay, because the mainstream media can help them look at things from that perspective. Why don't you start at home? Bring the numbers to their attention. Here are the numbers. They don't lie. African Americans kill each other more than anything. These are numbers. How about you start the change at home? How about that? Why does it take a white person to kill a black person for them to come out, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world? How about that? Why don't nobody bring that perspective to their face? Is it ignorance? What is it? Is it deceit? What are they trying to achieve? This is common sense. You want to change? Start the change at home. Common sense. You don't need to be a nuclear physician to get it's easy. Start the change at home. And let the mainstream media tell them the things the way they are. Hey, yeah, we agree with you. Violence is wrong. In any way, on any surface of the earth, violence is wrong. But there's more violence in your own communities. What do you do about that?
It's the setup.
They put them there on purpose,
Y'all know where we at.
They gonna set them on right up on the route.
Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is.
Hey, where do them bricks go to? Where do them
This
bricks
is
go
setup.
to? Where do them bricks
We gotta
go to?
do better.
Ain't no damn
We gotta
construction.
do better.
Ain't no damn construction around here.
I see.
Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pallet of bricks right there. Oh, okay.
Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there. Do better.
In St. Paul last night, and across our twin cities, a curfew went into effect. Because we had a relative stillness in St. Paul, we didn't make an enormous number of arrests, but every single person we arrested last night, I'm told, was from out of state.
So how did all those people get to your hometown and start creating a bunch of havoc? Why are there all of a sudden a bunch of fireworks that just happen to be there? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're participating in these riots and you're not getting paid, you're getting played.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Rightly so, this started trending on social media, negatively impacting Biden's presidential run. So, what are Democrats to do? Deploy IIA, or Internet Information Activities for Psychological Operations. Cherry-picked incidents that end up on social media are amplified in advance of a trigger point. The trigger point can be manufactured, or in this case, a real tragedy. Once the trigger point happens, the PSYOP is deployed. According to a pioneer in social media psychological operations, the initial kickoff of Black Lives Matter was an IIA operation.
From 2007 to 2010, I helped in pioneering, bringing the Army and the Force Psychological Operations group from throwing flyers from planes to a more targeted social media approach. With my work in the Middle East is that I help develop a capability. When the government contracts these jobs out, in most cases, the contractors keep the intellectual property rights to it. So when we lost the rebid on that contract in Iraq, the work that we spent for the last year with the Force Psychological Operations Group, all the all the information, all the stuff, the database, all the stuff that we had collected for them, we took with us. McChrystal has a company, and he has the same products that General James Jones.
Technology that was once used to combat ISIS propaganda is being employed by a Democratic Political Action Committee, a super PAC.
I will tell you, one of our private security that's with us here today, he served in Iraq, and he told me he never thought that he would see a scene like he saw in Iraq here at home.
So let's get you right to that video, some of the latest coming out of Minneapolis, where you can see many businesses destroyed, buildings burned, people have set fires. A sign that some of the looting that is going on there is not necessarily related to the main protests going on.
There have been some bad actors that have infiltrated these protests, have started throwing things at officers, have started attacking their vehicles.
Our job as people who are organizing ourselves as part of Sunrise and as part of other communities and movements is to make sure that this burning energy doesn't only stay in Minneapolis and that we spread like wildfire.
So last night, when that police station went up in flames, me and my girlfriend, we poured shots. We were happy.
These budgets put podcasts online. You'll never know that this podcast is bought and paid for by a contract for George Soros.
The AutoZone is on fire. This is the third building within 2 blocks.
Organizers on the ground need money right now. We gotta move that money to our comrades.
I ain't peaceful. I ain't no protest. I'm violent.
As soon as this system is brought down and a new revolutionary system is in place, then you put your life on the line, and if you have to, you lay your life down.
I was working a contract in South Korea with the Department of Defense at the time in 2014, and I saw this stuff happen. I had my colleague who was really good at doing trace routes and stuff. He trace routed it and determined that it was coming from the Ukraine, that they were using proxy servers to appear like they were located in wherever the Michael Brown thing was. Ferguson, thank you.
It started as a peaceful protest in one of Europe's busiest capitals. Today, it exploded into massive violence and bloodshed, now on the brink of a civil war. At issue, should Ukraine have closer ties to the US and Europe, or Putin's Russia? Our team is on the ground and under fire in this fast-developing and breaking news story.
Ow! Ow! Do you mind leave?
We tried to talk to members of the militant left-wing movement Antifa, who showed up to drown out a handful of Trump supporters trying to hold what they called a rally against racism and bigotry.
Do you want to know the facts?
I said something at you. I wasn't really looking to interact.
Their faces are not all they hide. Behind the name anti-fascists is a radical, organized agenda that targets anyone who challenges them.
They call themselves Antifa. Antifa is a far-left political movement.
They are strictly principled anti-fascists.
And they can count on much of the media to deliver their message. To journalist Andy No, it's a deception, an effective one.
Because Cuomo had tweeted out a photo of American troops storming the beaches of Normandy and said this was Antifa. Like, it's of that type of ignorance when if you dive into even the basics of Antifa ideology, they absolutely hate the United States. They want to see the destruction of states. So they have nothing to do with these liberation soldiers of World War II.
Focusing on Antifa has made him an authority and a target. Why do they hate you so much?
They hated me because I was writing unfavorably about them, because I was writing honestly about what they were doing.
No one else covers Antifa more than you. How did that happen?
Back in 2016, I was this new student journalist at Portland State for the student paper. And in November, Portland had days of protests that devolved into riots over and over for 4 days.
What were the protests about?
People in the city could not accept that Donald Trump had won.
We reject the president-elect. We
There was a certain faction that manifested that hatred through violence and destruction. And so that was the first time I came face to face with what I now know as Antifa.
And what did you see?
They went around different parts of downtown destroying businesses who were targeting banks and cars.
Destroying them with what?
Crowbars, bricks.
We're in Sweden, it's May Day, and we're on our way to a small place called Jönköping where a far-right political party, the SVP, have gathered for a 300-man march through the streets. Now, they say they're demonstrating against the European Union. There's far leftists who are going to be there, who are also known for being quite extreme. There's violence on both sides. There's apparently going to be 400 police there, and it sounds like things are going to get quite serious.
It's serious because it's growing. It's growing fast. I couldn't imagine something like this that's about to happen today would happen 5 years ago.
In Sweden, though, the emergence of a left-wing extremist group has seen anti-fascists waging war against the far right. Known as the Revolutionary Front, the faction of militant socialists has now become one of the most violent groups in Sweden. One of their affiliates was recently jailed for attempted murder after he stabbed a far-right supporter twice in the back. The Revolutionary Front formed in 2002, but their structure still remains shrouded in secrecy. Nobody knows exactly how many members they have. Estimates range from the hundreds to the thousands, and they're believed to operate in at least 5 different districts in Sweden. So with demonstrations across Sweden on the increase, we went to see if we could find the Revolutionary Front at the May Day rally. We made our way to the front of the march to speak with the leader of the far-right nationalist party, the SVP. What is the protest for today? Why have you marched?
The protest is about us showing that we want to leave the European Union.
All these people seem extremely angry that you're here. Why do you think that is? What do you think is going to happen here today? Do you think it's going to kick off?
I hope so. People have to know what's really going on today in Sweden.
The Revolutionary Front have never given a formal interview to the media and are notoriously hard to track down. Whoa! The far-right march has been allowed to move on, but the far left don't seem happy about it. There was a stun grenade thrown just 2 minutes ago. There's a lot of confusion, and the far right seem to be trying to tell the police what to do. Judging by people in masks, sunglasses, and the fact there's a lot of flashbangs going off, I think it's safe to say the Red Front are probably in attendance. Helmet on. Helmet on. Members of the far left started attacking members of the far right. Whoa. Police are really getting pissed off now. Despite the aggression, the police managed to stop any major violence breaking out at the march. But there's been an escalation in targeted attacks between the two sides. This footage of the Revolutionary Front smashing the home of a suspected fascist is one of the many attacks they film and publish on the internet.
Guns drawn, they broke into a cigar shop.
Get the fuck out! Stay away!
What happened to the peaceful protest, man? What a shame. Hey, everybody, y'all want to take a wild guess? Y'all think these people are Democrats or conservatives? Take a wild guess. I didn't see any MAGA hats. The left has painted this country to be this racist place. The presidents are white supremacists. Yeah. Right? The Republicans are a bunch of deplorables. Right? What do y'all call this? Yeah, and I put it on CNN just for, I just want to shits and giggles. Right? And Don Lemon says this.
Many of our cities, our major cities in this country, in chaos. There's unrest in our cities, and so far, no appeal from the President of the United States for calm. We're waiting for some leadership instead of division, and so far, silence.
I'm confused, Don. You've been telling your audience.
Yeah.
Past
4 years.
Yeah, that he's a white supremacist, and you want him to come out to calm down the public. Why would your audience listen to Trump after you've painted him as this Nazi?
Yeah.
You guys are the reason why this is happening. For years, y'all painted cops as bad, whites as bad, that America is bad. Now you made your bed, now you gotta lie in it. Yeah, this is a perfect example why you should never give up your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah.
You gonna sit there, the left's talking about, well, call the cops if you need help.
Yeah.
You gonna sit around and wait for the cops in something like this?
I didn't see any cops helping prevent this. No, they sat back and watched.
Yeah, I seen them jumping on tractor trailers.
Yeah.
They jumping on cars, ripping people out of cars, people getting beat up trying to protect that store.
Yeah, you burning down buildings, man.
Y'all, I mean, this was, and you keep calling yourself protesters. You're not protesters. You're a bunch of thugs, a bunch of criminals.
The president of law and order, as he now calls himself, which is how he pronounced himself, and then he claimed a power he doesn't really have. He can't send the military into every state. That's not law and order. The president seems to think that dominating black people, dominating peaceful protesters is law and order. It's not. He calls them thugs. Who is the thug here? Hiding in a bunker? Hiding behind a suit? Who is the thug? People have waited for days for this wannabe wartime president to say something. And this is what he says, and that is what...
Dude, do you not know how hard it is listening to you whine and complain like a little girl? You are such a wimp. You need to grow a pair. Seriously, grow a pair. Why are you on here spreading fake news? Huh? Is that the only thing you know how to do is lie? Because I'm starting to think you just don't know how to tell the truth. Between you and Don Lemon, I don't know who lie more. I think y'all are a match on a normal day, but today you got him beat, and that's a hard thing to do. You want to point the finger at Trump, you need to point the finger at these mayors and these governors, okay? Seriously. Sitting up here. Oh, I'm not done with you, Anderson Cooper. I'm not done with you. Here's another lie you told. President Trump never said he wanted to dominate the black community. Are you stupid? I watched that video. He never said that. Never said that. Quit putting words in his mouth, okay? Those people that are out there burning up businesses, burning up cars, burning up people's property, hurting people, beating up innocent people, those are thugs, okay? And evidently you haven't seen anything, but they were outside of CNN the other day busting up CNN windows. And you call that peaceful? That's not peaceful. That's not peaceful. Are you stupid? What is peaceful about burning up somebody's property, taking somebody out of a job, taking food off of somebody's table, ruining somebody's life? What is peaceful about that? Only a thug would do that. And black people are not the only ones out there rioting, okay? Okay? There's white people out there too. So they are thugs also. Anybody that's out there rioting, burning up stuff is a thug.
The CDC and others lied about what this pandemic was supposed to do. They illegally went against your constitutional rights and put you all on house arrest. And they locked up a ton of law-abiding citizens for not following these flawed CDC guidelines, which they would later change. But they then would let violent criminals out of jail, but will arrest people for going to church. Young man Aubrey dies. The media sensationalizes it. The death of Gregory is then turned to a false flag, and then George Soros busts in Antifa into all of these poor, impoverished communities. If the COVID-19 virus has already crippled our economy, what do you think is going to happen when all these insurance companies have to pay out for all of this mess?
No one jumped in more forcefully or seemed angrier at America than former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Quote, "Tonight I turned on the news and I am heartbroken," Haley wrote. "It's important to understand that the death of George Floyd was personal and painful for many. In order to heal, it needs to be personal and painful for everyone." But wait a second, you may be wondering. How am I, quote, personally responsible for the behavior of a Minneapolis police officer? I've never even been to Minneapolis, you may think to yourself. And why is some politician telling me I'm required to be upset about it? Those are all good questions. Nikki Haley did not answer those questions, explaining is not her strong suit. That would require thinking. What Nikki Haley does best is moral blackmail. During the 2016 campaign, she compared Donald Trump to the racist mass murderer Dylan Roof. How is Donald Trump similar to a serial killer? Nikki Haley never explained that. She wasn't trying to educate anyone. Her only goal was political advantage. Nikki Haley is exceptionally good at getting what she wants. She's happy to denounce you as a racist in order to get it. She just did. And then the pain kept increasing. 2 days after she wrote that, dozens of American cities have been thoroughly trashed, some destroyed. A country already on the brink of recession suddenly faced economic collapse. An already fearful population, locked down for months, had been thoroughly and completely terrorized. Mission accomplished. Let's hope Nikki Haley is pleased. We've now atoned. How did the Trump administration respond to the horrors going on around us? Well, yesterday morning, the country's national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, did a live interview from the White House lawn. Here's how it began.
First thing I want to say on behalf of the president, he said this to the family, but our hearts and prayers are going out to the Floyd family. We mourn with them and we grieve with them, and what happened there was horrific, and I can't even imagine what that poor family is going through as this video is played over and over again. That should have never happened in America, and it's a tragic thing. The president said that from the start, and we're with the family, and as the president said, we're with the peaceful protesters.
We're with the peaceful protesters, O'Brien announced. Really, can you be more specific about that? Who are you talking about exactly? Is it the people spitting foam as they scream F the police? Is it the ones standing next to the arsonists doing nothing as they set fire to buildings? Is it the kids laughing as they film the looting and the beatings on their iPhones? Maybe it's the famous people in LA who are raising money online to support the rioters. They're all just peaceful protesters. Yeah, we support that. It's who we are. What about the president? Where was he during all of this? Well, on Friday night after the show, Leland Vittert and a cameraman headed to Lafayette Square in Washington to cover what was happening outside the White House. Here's what happened next.
Fox News reporter is getting chased out by the George Floyd protesters here in front of at Lafayette Park. Look, there's water being thrown on the reporter here. Hey, look, this protester just took his mic. They just threw the mic at the reporter here. As you see, guys, things are spiraling here quick at the protest.
That was in Lafayette Square in the center of our capital city. And the tape raised a troubling question. If you can't keep a Fox News correspondent from getting attacked directly across the street from your house, how can you protect my family? How are you going to protect the country? How hard are you trying? On Twitter the next morning, the president reassured America that he and his family were just fine. The federally funded bodyguards had kept them safe. He did not mention protecting the rest of the nation, much of which was then on fire. He seemed aware only of himself. For people who like Donald Trump, who voted for Donald Trump, who support his policies, who have defended him for years and years against the most absurd kinds of slander, this was a distressing moment. The first requirement of leadership is that you watch over the people in your care. That's what soldiers want from their officers. It's what families need from their fathers. It's what voters demand from their presidents. People will put up with almost anything if you do that. You can regularly say embarrassing things on television. You can hire Omarosa to work at the White House. All of that will be forgiven if you protect your people. But if you do not protect them, or worse than that, if you seem like you can't be bothered to protect them, then you're done. It's over. People will not forgive weakness. That's the one thing. By the way, that is not a partisan point. It is human nature. Nero is the only Roman emperor whose name most people still remember. Why? Because he abandoned his nation in a time of crisis, and 2,000 years later, we still don't forgive him. About an hour ago, the president announced that he's going to marshal all available forces, military and civilian, to stop these riots.
If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem for them.
Immediately after that address, the president walked over to St. John's, which, as we just told you, was burning fewer than 24 hours ago, and that provided a powerful symbolic gesture. It was a declaration that this country, our national symbols, our oldest institutions, will not be desecrated and defeated by nihilistic destruction. We fervently hope this all works. What Americans want most right now is an end to this chaos. They want their cities to be saved. They want this to stop immediately.
Can Microsoft founder Bill Gates control the weather?
When you hear the name Bill Gates, you probably think Microsoft founder. But now the billionaire may be known as the hurricane tamer. Gates is listed as one of 13 inventors on a patent filed for hurricane prevention methods.
So while the idea of controlling the weather might sound like science fiction, because billionaire Bill Gates is involved, it's a Category 5 idea that some can only hope comes true.
Now comes Bill Gates. Like the comic book character The Weather Wizard, Gates and a team of scientists have an ingenious plan.
Bill Gates is among a dozen individual donors and 14 foundations backing the first stratospheric solar geoengineering experiment out of Harvard. It's called Stratospheric Controlled Perturbation Experiment.
On December 5th, 2018, Forbes published an article titled Harvard Scientists Begin Experiments to Block Out the Sun, where author Trevor Nace explains that, quote, a group of Harvard scientists plans to tackle climate change through geoengineering by blocking out the sun. With funding in part by Bill Gates and his foundation, the project is designed to spray tiny particles into the stratosphere that block out the sun, reflecting its light back into space. On September 20th, 2017, Bill Gates asked former President Obama about the need for global government to help bring his foundation's vision to life, concerning both global health pandemics and his sun-blocking weather modification.
Over the next 10 or 20 years, do you think these global institutions, in terms of reform or creating new ones, for pandemics and climate change, can they step up to play the role we need them to play?
Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out. Good God.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.